It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
It's Shootout week, and we've got an action-packed cup of coffee for you right here from Slumberland at the lake. I'm Wild Will.
I'm Uncle Chris.
So, Uncle Chris, we got a shootout. We got Cannonball Run.
Yep.
We got news from Ike Skelton's continuance.
Yeah.
Hey, is there a brain-eating bacteria?
I'm hearing about it.
But not in the lake, right?
Maybe.
Okay, we'll tell you about all that. Plus, we want you to join the debate. Should Osage Beach stop adding fluoride to the drinking water in Osage Beach? That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture. We're in the middle of our Labor Day sale. That means we've got lots of great deals, lots of discounts, and wonderful financing options. Tempur-Pedics, Stearns & Foster's, we've got you covered, up to $800 off, and 72 months interest-free financing. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area, so come check us out at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
A cup of coffee as we wake up in the car or right here on Lake TV with Will and Chris. Kind of like driving, we do it every single day.
But we shouldn't do it while distracted. Did you know that drivers who text are 23 times more likely to be in a crash? So keep your eyes on the road and always remember to buckle up and put your phones down.
This Drive Safe, Boat Safe message brought to you by Price and Randall Injury Attorneys.
Now back to your cup of coffee with Will and Chris.
Yeah, drive safe and boat safe. Of course, another horrific headline over the weekend with a 3-year-old drowning in Lake of the Ozarks. The third time this season that an infant has drowned here at Lake of the Ozarks. Another reminder, drive safe, boat safe. Be mindful when you're around the water, and just heartbreaking. We're seeing those headlines, right? Boat fires, structure fires, drownings, accidents on the water, boat wrecks. You saw the pontoon that collided. There were injuries. So we're seeing more and more of that. And I would credit that to the influx of people that are on the water when you take the first 2 or 3 months of the summer and all the rain that we had. A lot of vacations got scrapped, got pushed back. And so as the weather turns, it's been beautiful. It's been hot. It's been perfect conditions to be out on the water. The last 4 or 5 weeks, man, have you seen the activity on the water?
It's been unbelievable, and it has been so hot. It's when it's this hot, you have to, stop the boat, get in the water, cool off a little bit. And anytime you're doing that, there's more of a chance of something going wrong, somebody getting hurt, somebody drowning, some sort of a crash. So just be careful out there. As we always say, you got to be careful.
Yeah, and there will be tons of people in town. We're already seeing them, have been all week long. Of course, it's the first inaugural Cannonball Run, Ron Dugan's event with the West Side to raise money. We're going to tell you about that here in a few minutes. It's also Shootout Week. A lot of people already asking, so when can we start watching this year's Shootout on Lake TV? Of course, it's been on Lake TV every year since 2015, and unfortunately, this year, that is not the case. No Shootout live races this weekend on Lake TV, and that was not our decision. Apparently, the Shootout's going to have a stream on their Facebook and on their YouTube pages. However, I would highly encourage you to connect with Lake TV on every one of our platforms from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, including our Lake TV Offshore YouTube page and Lake TV Shootout coverage page, because once again, Lake TV is going to be bringing you every run, of course not live, but like we have the last couple of years. And if you haven't seen those, 2023, 2024, we have every run nearly from the last 2 years. You can go back and watch those on those pages. So yeah, make sure you go look. We've been all over. You've seen some of the feature stuff we've got, some of the behind the scenes, man. We've been all over it. And we got some pretty cool news we'll tell you later in the show about what our plans are for this weekend with Lake of the Ozarks Shootout. So you don't want to miss that. And in the meantime, save your receipts like it's already Cannonball Run season, right? You've been spending a lot of extra money since the 16th?
Always, it seems like, yeah.
Whatever. You're frugal is what I'm going to call it. But hey, for every $500 you spend right now, if you're registered for the Cannonball Run, gets you an extra hand to be eligible to win one of two $25,000 cash prizes. Of course, already underway, but a couple of events we've been telling you about. It's already here. Hey, Thursday is the Ozarks International Speedway Challenge. That's where you can get out there with your own car. You're taking one of your muscle cars, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have a couple of my Ferraris out there, you know, and stuff like that, running those, yeah.
But the concept is, you know, you can pay $400 if you're not registered for Cannonball Run, $250 if you are, but this gives you the opportunity this Thursday from 9 to 1, you get to run your car on the nearly 7-mile racetrack out there, and if you haven't seen it, it's a sight. It's not too late to register for Cannonball Run or to register for the Ozarks International Speedway Challenge, but I gotta tell you, did you see some of the other mini events that were taking place with Cannonball Run this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing what Ron Dugan and the folks over there at Captain Ron's have put on this first Cannonball Run. It's spectacular over there.
Yeah, and I know they've already, with the sponsorships and the fundraising efforts, they've already secured the two $25,000 cash prizes, a big pool of money they're planning on donating back to local charities.
Yep.
But Thursday, after that event at Ozarks International Speedway, you've got Christiana's coming out of retirement for a kickoff concert at Captain Ron's. You got a car show that day at Captain Ron's. Friday, Vendor Village opens up, which is going to be great. And all weekend long, there's live music. Prize number one awarded Friday night, $25,000.
25 grand, baby.
And Saturday night, $25,000. There will also be the Super Cat Fest for Kids live auction, presentation of both prizes, and fireworks Saturday night. So there is tons to do. And Sunday, they're giving away the Cerdike Yamaha Wave Runner at 1 p.m. The raffle challenge they're doing, that'll take place at Captain Ron. So hey, lots going on this weekend. We told you Shootout, the 36th annual Shootout. You've also got Cannonball Run, all kinds of stuff taking place. And we were set for this Thursday, Presiding Commissioner Ike Skelton's trial as it was continued last week, but apparently that's not the case. And I think there's something going on here because they've been moving and continuing. We've seen a few things filed, but I would anticipate that there's going to be something announced or something changing with Presiding Commissioner's Skelton Charges.
Yeah, so he was to appear Thursday the 14th for a preliminary hearing on an allegation that he removed that license plate reader from eastbound 54 west of Camdenton. This all happened, it's been about a year ago now, something like that. Claiming that the plate reader was in violation of county ordinance banning the devices from being used in unincorporated areas of Camden County, right? And he's the county presiding commissioner, so you would think he would know. The case now scheduled, as you said, for the 21st of this month for consideration of a defense motion to dismiss the charges, while at the same time for the court to consider a motion filed by the prosecution, the state, in opposition to dismissing this whole thing. The state claims that the county ordinance was unenforceable because the plate reader was located on MoDOT right-of-way under the jurisdiction of the Highway and Transportation Commission there. The state's motion also goes on to say that it would be up to a jury to decide if Skelton was acting under a claim of right, in the county. It's interesting. I think you're right, though. I think there's something happening behind the scenes that's going on that we don't know about yet that I think we're going to hear about in the next few days. Whether that's good or bad for Skelton and Camden County, I don't know, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I reached out to Presiding Commissioner Ike Skelton, and he said, yeah, we don't anticipate there will be that continuance on the 21st. We look for something in September, and so it'll be interesting if you look at the case heading for Ike Skelton under CaseNet for this particular case. You'll see some things have changed, so go check that out for yourself. All right, so everyone's been talking about, we've seen it, and is it a serious concern? I'm talking about the Amoeba infection, the brain-eating infection, that was potentially linked to Lake of the Ozarks.
This is a weird story. Kind of scares a lot of people, though, right? So the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services announced a case of an adult Missouri resident with a laboratory-confirmed brain-eating infection. You heard that right? I mean, they kind of make horror movies out of things like this, right? So the microscopic single-cell free-living amoeba called a primary amoebic meningoencephalitis or something like that.
Well done.
They shorten it up, just call it a PAM, is being called a possible cause of illness that has the victim hospitalized in intensive care. So this is serious stuff. This PAM is considered common and naturally present in warm, fresh water such as lakes, rivers, and ponds. Infection, however, is extremely rare, typically affecting fewer than 10 people a year in the United States. So it doesn't happen very often. The source of the patient's exposure is currently being investigated. They're not really sure where he got it, if it was in the lake or if he got it from the soil somewhere or even if it was around here. There are no other suspected cases currently being investigated in Missouri. So this is it. This is the one case.
Sure, and I reached out to the Camden County Health Department, and Administrator Jennifer Fenley got back to me and said, at this time, there's no increased risk of concern. PAM, as you said, primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, the condition caused by the free-living amoeba. See, I didn't do that near as well as you did.
I thought it was pretty good. You did good, man.
Is extremely rare. Through guidance passed to our department from DHSS, we have learned it's only the third such case in Missouri since 1983.
Wow.
And that only 2 of those cases were locally acquired. So only 2 people in Missouri have gotten this from Missouri since 1983. And the U.S. as a whole has reported just 167 known cases between 1962 and last year. The amoeba lives at temperatures between 86 and 113 degrees and can be found in the soil and freshwater ponds, lakes, rivers, streams, hot springs, and even unchlorinated swimming pools. DHSS recommends that recreational, this is where I thought was interesting, because I would never think of doing these things. They recommend that water users should assume the amoeba is present in warm, fresh water. Avoid diving and jumping into stagnant fresh water. Consider using nose plugs or pinching your nose shut when diving or swimming in fresh water, and swim with your head above water in all untreated bodies of water. I'm like, well, the entire lake is untreated. So they're telling you essentially they don't recommend you ever put your head underwater, which is unavoidable if you swim or ski or surf. But that's where the peace of mind comes in, is the fact there's only been 2 known cases and millions of people swim in the lake every year since 1982. And so it is important to remember that PAM is not transmitted from human to human. So even if someone did have it, wouldn't be a real concern as far as being close to them.
You're not going to get it from somebody else.
But I wanted to find out, because you see that brain-eating bacteria linked to Lake of the Ozarks. It causes unnecessary panic. And I was like, well, is it unnecessary panic, or do we have a serious concern on our hands? And I appreciate the Camden County Health Department basically allowing us to tell you guys, rest assured it's okay to swim in Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, very, very, very rare. So
I get a kick out of all the people that see like our content on social media with Aquapalooza and our boating stuff, always hating on the color of the water. Like, ew, look at the nasty lake. I'd never swim in that. And I'm like, good, more room for me and all of my friends. Like, I can't get enough swimming in Lake of the Ozarks.
Well, and it is funny because, the experts consider Lake Lake of the Ozarks, a very clean lake, right? But I mean, you look at it and there's mud in there and there's fish in there, and you know what the fish do in there. And, you know, I mean, so you probably don't want to drink that water. And, you know, if you're going to just cove out or something, just sit on a noodle. You know, you don't have to get your head underwater. Try not to dive or whatever if you're worried about that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, because there are things you can do to be more careful. As for me, I'm not worried about it. I am going to be diving and doing backflips off high dives, as you've probably seen on the LOZ featured doc series.
It's greatness, man.
All right, here is an interesting headline. We've been talking about Missouri legalizing sports gambling, right? And the first 2 licenses were officially awarded for online sports betting, according to Fox 2 Now. And I was surprised. There were 3 that vowed for it. Only 2 got it, and the one that didn't get it was FanDuel.
I was shocked when I saw this. So the Missouri Gaming Commission awards sports wagering licenses to DraftKings, which you would expect, and to Circa Hospitality, right? I'd never heard of them before. And they leave out FanDuel, right? So that was kind of fascinating. So DraftKings, Circa Hospitality, and FanDuel all competed for the 2 available untethered sports betting licenses in Missouri. The license allows companies to operate online sports books here in the state without partnering with a casino or a professional sports team. And it also allows Missourians to play sports bets on their phones once wagering does go live. I think that's December 1st of this year. Last year, if you remember, Missouri voters narrowly approving the Amendment 2 to legalize sports wagering in the state. So that is coming December the 1st. DraftKings backed Missouri's push to legalize sports gambling. They contributed $43 million, and now they're getting paid back because, you know, the Missourians will be able to use them. Now, FanDuel chipped into part of that campaign, and they get left out, which is fascinating to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guaranteed or promises. It's kind of like the incentive package that the state of Missouri rolled out for the Chiefs to stay there is like, you know, it's not a guarantee that just because those gifts come in or those, you know, that it's going to be returned. It's just hopefully to incentivize or potentially sway them one way. But I'm sure that's got to upset FanDuel. And when you talk about DraftKings, funneling in $43 million with the knowledge they could potentially be the FanDuel and be left out.
Yeah.
That shows you just a small little glimpse into the kind of money that these institutions, these corporations are set to make when it comes to the profits from legalizing sports betting, including, you know, you're seeing them pop up everywhere, those video slot machines, those video bingos at every gas station, at every laundromat around the lake area. Is like, it means people are set to make a lot of money.
You got that right.
Typically off the backs of people who shouldn't be playing things like that.
Probably right. So you might be wondering, who is this Circa Hospitality? That was my first question. Well, who is that? They're a Las Vegas-based parent company of Circa Sports. Present a more unique option, they say, that focuses on high-limit betting, big money apparently, and personalized betting experiences. So it's like concierge gambling kind of a thing. I'm not sure that's a good thing either, but there you go.
What they mean by that personalized betting experiences is they pick up on your tendencies and your weaknesses, and then they send you incentives and bonuses. It's like, hey, if you're a sucker bet for 2 a.m. soccer in Bangladesh, not sure how I would know that exists, they might send you a 1 a.m. bonus offer, and it's just kind of like to keep it going. It's like, you know, if you're a drug addict and you're out of money and somebody's like, well, just give you a little.
It's just waving it right in front of you there.
It's dangerous. I'm serious. I know a lot of people were behind this. They're set to make huge money. But when it comes to the legalized sports betting, which is legal in so many states, you know, I could see it leading to big problems down the road.
I could too, yeah. I bet, you know, that's why you voted on it last year, and Missourians say they want to bet. So there you go.
We will see. All right, so it's time for you guys to join the debate. An interesting headline. We first saw it on the Board of Aldermen agenda about 3 or 4 weeks ago for the city of Osage Beach. But should Osage Beach stop adding fluoride to the city's drinking water?
There's been a big debate for a long time. I remember way before you were ever born, back in the 70s, there was this big debate about fluoride in the water, and then...
So this is nothing new.
Oh, it's been around for a long time, and back then they decided to put the fluoride in the water, that supposedly that would be better for, you know, tooth health and all that stuff. Well, there's been a lot of problems with that over the years, or supposedly, that's what people are saying, it's caused some medical health. Like RFK Jr. brings these things out. that maybe we shouldn't be doing some of these things. So reaction continues about all these efforts and everything. Mayor Michael Harmison has been behind the effort to take this out of the drinking water. He recently spoke at a Board of Aldermen meeting in KRMS and said that the list of countries continuing the practice is growing, that the city water is already naturally fluoridated anyway, so you don't really need it. There's a local dentist, Ron Massey, who is also speaking on KRMS, says he doesn't agree with this continuing the fluoride because he thinks it's good for the children's, dental health and everything. So, this fight goes on, and it's going on all over the country now. And again, RFK Jr., Make America Healthy Again, is against a lot of these things because there seems to be a whole lot of secondary issues to it, right? That it might not be best for people's overall health. So check into it and make a decision. And I kind of agree with Mayor Harmison. I think, if it's not natural in the water, don't put it in there, right? So.
Well, and I also thought it was interesting that longtime lake dentist you alluded to, Ron Massey, doesn't agree with, like you said, and he says, look, this is not about politics, but it's about the future of our kids' health. And so the dentist has nothing to gain, really, I wouldn't think. Says, hey, they need this in there. And so, yeah, it is an ongoing back and forth. And Lake Expo put out a readers poll. And as of Tuesday morning, of the hundreds of locals who had voted, 53% are in favor of taking it out of the drinking water.
I would be in that group, yeah.
44% are in favor of keeping it in the drinking water, while 3% are torn on the issue. And so we're curious what you out there watching this week's Cup of Coffee, where do you sit on this discussion or topic? Do you think that Osage Beach should discontinue the use of fluoride in the drinking water, or you want them to keep it in the drinking water? It'll be interesting to see what you guys say down in the comments below. But here's what I love. The board at the city of Osage Beach tabled any consideration of an ordinance to discontinue adding fluoride to the drinking water due to a 90-day process to allow for public comment as mandated by the state. So they said, look, we're supposed to do this anyway. There's obviously enough contention, enough opinion. We have to table this, have another 90 days to continue to get opinions and open discussion. And so again, you're going to hear me say it. You're going to think I'm getting paid by him, and I'm not. It's kudos to the city of Osage Beach. That's the way city government is done. And so love to see it. And we'll keep you guys posted. In the meantime, go check it out, ask questions, reach out to Devin Lake, Mayor Michael Harmison, the city of Osage Beach, and they'll get back to you, I guarantee you.
Do some research, because there's a lot of information out there. I mean, just on YouTube, or just, do a Google search. You'll get a lot of information that
it's
pops
not,
up.
It's not a lake topic, right?
No,
Fluoride in drinking water is a national thing that's been going on, as you said, since the 70s. All right, so I told you I had a surprise for you in regards to the shootout. Well, guess what? Lake TV is excited to announce that this Friday we're bringing you our exclusive Lotto Shootout pre-race show starting at 5 o'clock right here on Lake TV. We're going to talk with Ray Lee, he's a Hall of Famer this year, about the biggest storylines for this year's shootout. We're going to check out American Ethanol and talk with Tony Badiato about chasing number 11. He's not an easy guy to talk with. He doesn't talk a lot.
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't do interviews. So that was really cool. You'll hear from him in our pre-race show. Plus, you're going to meet the new driver of Dirty Duck, Adam Serafine. Plus, you're going to talk with this year's Bob Morgan Memorial Lake of the Ozarks Shootout Hall of Fame class. Man, we talked with Carolyn Doris. We go fishing with Myra Coyle. We drive some speedboats and so much more. So listen, if you want Shootout, you want to hear the history, see the behind the scenes, and get ready for the biggest storylines, you got to tune into this Friday's Lake of the Ozarks Shootout pre-race show brought to you by Lake TV starting at 5 o'clock. And don't miss, inside of that, we'll have our top 10 runs from 2024 brought to you by Cool Breeze Marine. So pretty excited about that. Even if we don't get the live races, we're still going to bring you a lot of action this weekend. So don't miss that. And in other local news, did want to give a shout out. We have the Furry Friend, the local pet for adoption that my smoking hot wife does each week. And I even saw Brinley in that, a couple weeks ago with one of the animals. And so I thought it was cool. I saw that Petco Love had invested, I guess it's called Love Invest, but they had granted the Ozarks Cat and Canine Shelter a $1,000 grant investment from the national nonprofit Petco Love in support of their life-saving work for pets in the Lake of the Ozarks area. And so Petco Love found all the cool stuff Ozarks Cat and Canine was doing, which led to a small grant, $1,000 in dog food. When you talk about the needs at Ozarks Cat and Canine, that goes a long way. And so if you're watching, you love dogs, you love cats, go up and see our friends at Ozarks Cat and Canine. Look at the animals they have for adoption because they could use some help up there, as everyone right now in the animal shelter world could. All right, so big news again out of the city of Osage Beach. If you like fishing, you're going to love this because the Anglers Lodge, big development, little controversial, made headways, and they're like, well, do we even get massive fishing tournaments? Well, here's your answer. Osage Beach to host the Major League Fishing Toyota Series on Lake of the Ozarks in March of next year.
Yeah, how about this? Premier Bass Fishing Tournament coming to the Lake of the Ozarks. So the Major League Fishing Toyota Series attracts top, anglers, big cash prizes. I mean, this is a big deal, and the chance for advancement to the nationally televised Toyota Series Championship. And for the first time, the Plains Division will be on Lake of the Ozarks, and this is going to be March 10th to 12th next year, March 10th to the 12th. And this event is a great opportunity for our community to come together and showcase our hospitality, says Osage Beach City Administrator Devin Lake. So this is a big deal. I mean, this is a big tournament, and as many great tournaments as we have at the Lake of the Ozarks, as many just droves of fishermen that come to the lakes. Here's going to be even more that get introduced to the Lake of the Ozarks that are going to love this place.
Yeah, and I got to say, for as much as I love the speedboats, the power boats, the Shootout offshore, the speed, those events are great, but one thing that keeps people coming to Lake of the Ozarks 12 months of the year is fishing, and I see it's going to continue to grow over these next 3 to 5 years in this boom we're currently in as the Lake of the Ozarks explodes. So fishing, maybe it's time that you and I finally do pick up fishing. You kind of like to fish, don't you?
Yeah, well, in the spring I kind of get the bug, when I really like crappie fishing. Those are the really good eating. So this year I actually caught enough crappie for a couple of dinners at the Schneider household. So I'm getting better. It's not just a rumor there are fish in the lake anymore. I've actually caught a couple of them. So.
Look who's becoming a seasoned lot of
about
fisherman.
that?
All right, so our weekly, it's my favorite Jesus Calling devotional of the week. This week, the devotional titled Meet Jesus in the Early Morning Splendor. And it's written from the author of this, from Jesus' perspective, to his children. And so Meet Jesus in Early Morning Splendor goes like this. Meet me in early morning splendor. I eagerly await you here. In the stillness of this holy time with me, I renew your strength and saturate you with peace. While others turn over for extra sleep or anxiously tune in to the latest news, you commune with the creator of the universe. I have awakened in your heart strong desire to know me. This longing originated in me, though it now burns brightly in you. When you seek my face in response to my love, call. Both of us are blessed. This is a deep mystery designed more for your enjoyment than for your understanding. I am not a dour God who discourages pleasure. I delight in your enjoyment of everything that is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. Think on these things, and my light in you will shine brightly day by day. And the scripture to support that, Isaiah 40:31, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, and they will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This book of Psalm, chapter 27, verse 4, one thing I ask of the Lord, that is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek in his temple. And finally, Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, and whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. That is this week's Jesus Calling devotional, my favorite one from the past week, and it's the most important thing we can do with our platform each week. And outside of that, a lot going on this week on Lake TV. You've got on your community spotlight show with COMC, Morgan McClure from COMC.
Oh yeah, one of the many great people on staff over there at COMC. She's not a nurse, she's not a doctor, she's one of the people behind the scenes that helps everything work smoothly, for the communities and everything like that. Just wonderful insight into one of the many things that make COMC so good. So be sure to check that out. And then we've got high school football coming, right?
Listen, Tuesday, you're going to be with Par Pitts and Shannon Jolly for this year's first COMC High School Football Coaches Show. And then next Friday, Jeff City at Camdenton. Friday Night Lights is back.
Yep.
I'm fired up. Plus, episode 5 of the LOZ featured doc series is Thursday. Go watch the last 4, and don't forget pre-race show for Shootout this Friday night at 5.